2021 to order at 5:15. Would you all please rise and join me in the pledge of allegiance? I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Zerlo, please call the roll.
Certainly. Mr. Castine.
Present.
Mr. Hall.
Here.
Mr. Henry.
Here.
Mr. Hughes.
Here.
Mr. Kretzer.
Here.
Mr. Courier.
Here.
Mr. Potiker.
Here.
Mr. Timmons.
Here.
And Ms. Waldron has asked to be excused this evening.
Thank you. Before we start, I'd like to welcome Legislator-elect David Zito here from Area 4. We are area neighbors. We will share half and half with Beatontown. I'm certainly glad to see you, I can tell you that. And we all look forward to working with you come January 1st. You're going to see it. So welcome. And secondly, I'm sure the legislature would like to wish the United States Marine Corps a happy birthday today. So happy birthday to the Marines. And we will move on to a motion for the minutes. All legislators have received a copy of the stenographer's minutes of October 27, 2021 regular session. If there are no additions, deletions, or corrections, I will entertain a motion to adopt as a motion. Legislator Hall, second Legislator Courier. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. So now recognize anybody in the audience that wishes to share their thoughts with the legislature. Is there anyone here other than somebody I don't see? No one in public tonight? On the committee reports, I will call on the chairperson of each committee in alphabetical order of my committee, starting with Buildings and Grounds and Legislator Timmons.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, the Buildings and Grounds Committee has not met since the last regular session. James Cleveland, the Buildings and Grounds Superintendent, reported the Government Roof Center project is moving forward, but currently awaiting delivery of the fascia material, which has been delayed by the manufacturer. Delivery is expected in 7 to 10 days. The committee was polled on resolutions 801 and 802, which have been placed on the agenda upon the recommendation of the committee. The next Buildings and Grounds Committee meeting is tentatively scheduled for Monday, December 13th at 4:30 p.m.
Children and Family Services, Legislator Potter.
Thank you, Chairman. The Chairman of the Children and Family Services Committee met on Tuesday, November 9th. John Redden, the Commissioner of the Department of Social Services, was present to discuss several resolutions, mainly to approve 2022 contracts, including authorizing safe harbor grant application and acceptance. He also reviewed the monthly statistics for September 2021. Resolutions number 803 through 813 have been placed on the agenda upon recommendation of the committee. The next Children and Family Services Committee is tentatively scheduled for Tuesday, December 7th at 5:15 p.m. End of report.
Sure. Economic Development and County Operations, Mr. Zerlo, you have that report?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, on behalf of Legislator Waldron, and thank you to Legislator Timmons for chairing the meeting this evening. The Economic and Development and County Operations Committee met earlier. Tim Serpinski from the Office of Real Property, Glenn Cutter, the Planning Director, were present to discuss the department's resolutions. Dave Randall, Director of Information Technology, was also present to discuss multi-factor authentication requirements for 2022 cyber insurance renewal. Kim Kimblem, Deputy County Administrator, was present to discuss the updated Title VI plan. Excuse me. Resolutions 814 through 822 were placed on the agenda on the recommendation of the committee. The next Economic Development and County Operations Committee meeting is tentatively scheduled for Wednesday, December 8th at 4 p.m. in support.
You need me to take over?
Finance, Legislator Timmons.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, the Finance Committee met on Wednesday, November 3rd. Kimberly Davis, the County Commissioner, was present to discuss sales tax, occupancy tax, and school 2021 to 2022 installments. Sean Lucas and Bill Myers of Casella Waste Management of New York, Inc. who are also present to discuss the status of convenience stations within the county. Chairperson Henry has approved a committee to review this matter. Resolutions 823 through 825 have been placed on the agenda upon the recommendation of the committee. Next Finance Committee meetings are tentatively scheduled for Monday, November 29th and Tuesday, November 30th at 5:15 p.m. to review the 2022 budget. End of report.
Thank you very much. Health, Legislator Hughes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Health Committee met on Wednesday, November 3rd. John Canoza, Director of Public Health, was present to discuss the third quarter grant quarterly report, the Director's report for September 2021, the Health Department report for October 2021, and the WIC newsletter for October to December 2021, and Public Health Connection for October 2021. Rochelle Gregory, the Director of Community Services, was also present to discuss various resolutions, including authorizing various contracts for the year 2022. Mr. Canoza also provided me with a brief summary of the COVID-19. As of Tuesday, November 9th, there were 232 active cases in isolation and 477 individuals in quarantine. As of November 8, 2021, a total of 27 patients were hospitalized at CVPH as a result of COVID-19. Overall, COVID-19 testing in Clinton County is continuing reasonably well, with 300 to 900 tests being completed every day. Clinton Community Health Department remains vigilant in vaccinations and testing. And the Health Department is also working with Champlain Valley Educational Services to complete school testing project work for schools in Clinton County. Resolutions 826 through 837 have been placed on the agenda upon the recommendation of the committee. The next Health Committee meeting is tentatively scheduled for Wednesday, December 1st at 4:15. End of report.
Chairman, the only thing I'll add is that the vaccine for the 5 to 11 year-old population is a multi-pronged approach. There is some in town at pharmacies available. There's also some that are being received by pediatricians' offices, and thirdly, the county has ordered doses and is working directly with elementary schools to create pods on site. So we are pushing that.
Very good, thank you, sir. Human Services, Legislator Perry.
The Human Services Committee met on Tuesday, November 9th. Arlene Collins, the Director of the Office for the Aging, and Wendy Bishop, the Nursing Home Administrator, were present to discuss the department's resolutions. Kevin LeVeaux, the Director of the Veterans Services Agency, was also present to discuss monthly statistics for October 2021 and the VA extension and presumption period of the Gulf War chronic illness, resolutions 838 through 845, as well as resolution 892 under Wave 13, Rule 13.2 have been placed on the agenda upon recommendation of the committee. The next Human Services Committee meeting is tentatively scheduled for Tuesday, December 7th at 4:15 p.m. End of report.
Thank you very much. Personnel Committee. The Personnel Committee met on Monday, November 1st. Kim Kinbaugh, the Personnel Director, was present to discuss various resolutions, including authorizing various contracts for the year 2022 and the Clinton County Telework Agreement extension. Resolutions 846 through 861 have been placed on tonight's agenda upon the recommendation of the committees. The next Personnel Committee meeting is tentatively scheduled for Monday, December 6th at 4 p.m. Plattsburgh International Airport, Legislator Hall.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Plattsburgh International Airport Committee has not met since the last regular session. Resolutions 862 and 864 were pulled and have been placed on the agenda upon the recommendation of the committee. The next Plattsburgh International Airport Committee meeting is tentatively scheduled for Wednesday, November 17th at 4 p.m. End of report.
Public Safety, Legislator Castine.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Public Safety Committee met on Monday, November 1st. Sheriff Dave Favreau, Chad Dean, the County Coroner, Jennifer Facto Rabideau, the Deputy Coroner, and Jamie Rock, the Administrative Assistant at the Child Advocacy Center, CAC, were present to discuss their department's resolutions. Resolutions 865 through 878 have been placed on the agenda upon the recommendations of the committee, as well as Resolution 879 through a poll conducted on Friday, November 5th. The next Public Safety Committee meeting is tentatively scheduled for Monday, December 6th at 5 p.m. End of report.
Thank you very much. Transportation, Legislator Trevor.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Transportation Committee has not met since the last regular session. Resolutions 880 and 881 were polled and have been placed on the agenda upon the recommendation of the committee. The next Transportation Committee meeting is tentatively scheduled for Monday, December 13th at 5:15 p.m. End of report.
Very good, thank you. Liaison reports, we've already heard of health, Chamber of Commerce, Legislative Officer.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
excuse me. I know that you are not only on the Board of Health, but also play a role in the selection committee, so maybe the board should just know if the committee is proceeding with selection.
Oh, sure, I think that's an excellent reminder. As Michael said, we all know that the Director of Health, John Knowles, will be retiring soon. The Board of Health, this county, is in search of a director to take John's place. We have a search committee of which I am part of. The Board of Health has a search committee of which I am part of. We are putting names together to interview. Those names aren't public yet. So we will soon have someone or somebodies to interview for that position. We shall do so. Once the Board of Health Search Committee has completed their work, then that name or names will be forwarded on through to this legislature for their consideration. So we are moving apace to find somebody to replace the director. As of the other day, we've had a couple of meetings already, things are going smoothly. And when we have something to forward on up to the legislature, we can.
I apologize, Mr. Chairman. When did John say he was getting done?
12:31.
Thanks for that, Michael. No. Cooperative session, Legislator Timmons.
Chamber.
Did I skip you? Oh, I'm sorry, Rick, you interrupted me. Go ahead.
Chamber update, Thursday, November 4th, I attended the Saranac Lake Waterfront Lodge update from the board. We received an update from the board regarding the chairman of the board, Bill Myers, and a perspective from Chamber President Gary Douglas. Guest speaker was Honorary Maritime Herbert, Delegate General of Quebec, New York. It was an interesting conversation and presentation by her, and just highlighted the cooperation between Canada and Quebec and New York, and the things that they were proceeding with. Also, an update on the border. November 8th was the beginning of loosening restrictions at the northern land border. Business and non-essential travel have resumed. Many Canadians are still reluctant to travel to the U.S. However, they are required to show a negative COVID PCR test done within 72 hours prior to crossing. These tests are expensive and will need to be taken again before returning to Canada if the 72 hours have passed. Many of our friends and partners to the north, such as the Canadian Chamber of Commerce, are calling for this requirement to be changed. And last week, OSHA released the Emergency Temporary Standard, ETS, which states that all private sector employers with 100 or more employees must either implement a vaccine requirement for all employees or have employees be tested once per week. While this ETS is being currently litigated in federal court, it is encouraged that employers take note that the requirement timeline and begin preparing for the interim until a final decision is rendered.
Now,
That was one of the most robust Chamber of Commerce reports we've heard in some time.
man, working now. Cooperative extension, Legislator Tibbetts.
No report.
What's all that stuff? This one here, you have nothing, right? Intercounty, that's not here, you got anything here in county?
No, sir.
Okay. LCLG Regional Planning Board, Legislative Pressure Reviews.
No report.
Thank you. Soil and Water, Legislative Free Attendance.
No report.
Workforce Development Board, Legislative Pressure.
No report.
Thank you. Staff members, Mr. Favreau, do you have anything for us?
No report.
Mr. Zerlo.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I'm happy to say that we are not going to require an executive session this evening. But the one thing I wanted to bring your attention, I'm sure you're all paying attention to Legislator Potter's report. That vaccination mandate, that OSHA mandate, we have received word from the New York State Association of Counties and the National Association of Counties that does in fact apply to municipal governments with employees exceeding 100, of which Clinton County is one. So this is something that we'll be dealing with. Kim and I believe, are meeting with Jackie on Monday to start coming up with a plan. In the interim, Kim has notified county department heads that this standard is applicable to us, and to at least at this point start gathering names of those folks who are unvaccinated. So just letting you know, we did not think that was going to apply to us, as New York State municipal governments are governed by PESH and not OSHA, but it in fact has been determined that because OSHA signs off on PESH's plan, that we are subject to the mandate. More to follow.
Do we know how many employees?
Kim, I don't know if you can.
So not every department has answered so far, but as of now, there's about 50. So there is a state order though, correct, right now on?
Correct, but I would be surprised if it's. So 50 probably and growing, so some things to ponder, and we are in no way seeking any sort of decision this evening, but they're obviously, if they choose not to get vaccinated, which is their right, it is, they have to get tested each week. To us that they're tested, mask wearing requirements are in play, and then there's the considerations of where they're going to get tested and who might have to pay for their testing and on whose hour they are able to go, or they are able to get their test. So these are some of the things that we'll be working through, and obviously those are your decisions, but we need to put our arms around it first before we bring you any recommendations.
Okay. We will move to.
And just so you know, we
Yeah.
no, I apologize. I asked Mr. Cleveland for a quote on a new system today. So we're gonna hopefully avoid this ringing in your ears going forward.
I just wrote another note down about that. Sounds good. Resolutions. We can go to resolutions now. Before voting on the resolutions, I want to note that the majority of these resolutions have been thoroughly discussed by the appropriate committee, and the legislature is taking action tonight based in large part on the recommendation of the committee. Mr. Zerlo, would you please read the resolutions to be acted upon this evening?
Certainly, Chairman. Resolution 801, authorizing various contracts for the year 2022, buildings and grounds.
Motion, Legislator Timmons, second, Legislator Perrier. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Timmons?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm using an old note here. But I appreciate your vote, Rob. You just use Resolution 802, authorizing contract with Atlantic Testing Laboratories, Buildings and Grounds.
Motion, Legislator Timmons, second, Legislator Henry. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier.
Yes.
Mr. Hall.
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 803, authorizing memorandum of understanding with Champlain Valley Family Center, Social Services, Employment and Training.
Motion, Legislator Potiker, second, Legislator Kretzer. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier.
Yes.
Mr. Hall.
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 804, authorizing memorandum of understanding with Clinton County Mental Health and Addiction Services and Clinton County Employment and Training Administration, Social Services.
Motion, Legislator Potiker, second, Legislator Perrier. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier.
Yes.
Mr. Hall.
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 805, authorizing various contracts for the year 2022, Social Services.
Motion, Legislator Potiker, second, Legislator Kretzer. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier.
Yes.
Mr. Hall.
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 806, authorizing payment of membership dues for the year 2022, Social Services.
Motion, Legislator Potiker, second, Legislator Perrier. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier.
Yes.
Mr. Hall.
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 807, authorizing contracts with various foster care facilities for the year 2022, Social Services.
Motion, Legislator Potiker, second, Legislator Kretzer. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 808, authorizing contract with various daycare providers for the year 2022, Social Services.
Motion, Legislator Potiker, second, Legislator Perrier. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier.
Yes.
Mr. Hall.
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 809, authorizing daycare registration funds grant application and acceptance of social services.
Motion, Legislator Potiker, second, Legislator Kretzer. Discussion. Roll call.
Perrier.
Yes.
Mr. Hall.
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 810, authorizing Child and Family Services Plan, Social Services, Youth Bureau.
Motion, Legislator Potiker, second, Legislator Perrier. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 811, authorizing the Municipal Comprehensive Runaway and Homeless Youth Plan, Social Services.
Motion, Legislator Potiker, second, Legislator Kretzer. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 812, authorizing Safe Harbor Grant application and acceptance, Social Services.
Motion, Legislator Potiker, second, Legislator Kretzer. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier.
Yes.
Mr. Hall.
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 813, approving reappointments to the Clinton County Youth Board, Youth Bureau.
4-4, Mr. Potiker?
Yes, please.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 814, authorizing contract with the Town of Aussable for full assessing services, real property.
Motion, Legislator Castine, second, Legislator Hughes. Discussion.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I just want to let folks know, we discussed this at county operations, but this contract and this service will be the sole shared service initiative this year. So just want to bring everybody up to speed on that. That we still have to conduct 3 public hearings and then take a vote of the panel. But this will be the sole item on the plan this year.
Any further discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Perrier.
Yes.
Mr. Hall.
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 815, authorizing payment of membership dues, real property.
Motion, Legislator Hughes, second, Legislator Potiker. Discussion. Roll call.
Perrier.
Yes.
Mr. Hall.
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 816, authorizing payment of 2022 membership dues, county clerk.
Motion, Legislator Hughes, second, Legislator Potiker. Discussion. Roll call.
Perrier.
Yes.
Mr. Hall.
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 817, authorizing contract amendment with Elon Free Consulting, Planning Department.
Motion, Legislator Potiker, second, Legislator Timmons. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier.
Yes.
Mr. Hall.
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 818, designating the Clinton County Deputy County Administrator as the Title VI Coordinator for Clinton County Legislature.
Motion, Legislator Timmons, second, Legislator Castine. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 819, amending Clinton County Title VI Plan, Legislature.
Motion, legislator Castine. Second, legislator Hughes. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Slight name change to Resolution 820. Resolution 820, supporting the naming of the Northern Tier Recreation Trail after former county legislator Harry J. McManus, legislator.
Motion, Mr. Castine, 4-4.
Yes, please.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 821, authorizing the county treasurer to transfer appropriation from the contingency budget information technology.
Motion, legislator Hughes. Second, legislator Potiker. Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Resolution 822 has been withdrawn. Both of those went through committee and pending committee discussion. One was sent to the regular board in regular session and one was withdrawn. This is the one that did not come out of committee. Resolution 823, awarding bid for removal of trash and recyclables purchasing.
Motion, legislator Timmons. Second, legislator Castine. Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 824, rejecting bids for snow plowing and removal at Plattsburgh International Airport purchasing.
Okay, motion, legislator Timmons. Second, legislator Hall. Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Resolution 825, authorizing contract with Vineski and Company, Legislature.
Motion, legislator Timmons. Second, legislator Hughes. Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Resolution 826, authorizing various contracts for the year 2022, Health Department.
Motion, legislator Hughes. Second, legislator Castine. Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Resolution 827, authorizing various ongoing contracts for the year 2022, Health Department.
Motion, legislator Hughes. Second, legislator Kretzer. Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Resolution 828, authorizing various contracts for rabies testing, Health Department.
Motion, legislator Hughes. Second, legislator Castine. Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Resolution 829, authorizing Healthy Neighborhoods Preventive Health Cornerstones Grant Extension, Health Department.
Motion, legislator Hughes. Second, legislator Kretzer. Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 830, authorizing payment of membership dues for the year 2022, Health Department.
Motion, legislator Hughes. Second, legislator Castine. Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Resolution 831, approving reappointment to the Clinton County Board of Health, Health Department.
4-4, Mr. Hughes? Yes. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 832, authorizing various contracts for the year 2022, mental health and addiction.
Motion, legislator Hughes. Second, legislator Kretzer. Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Resolution 833, authorizing payment of membership dues for the year 2022, mental health and addiction.
Motion, legislator Hughes. Second, legislator Castine. Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 834, authorizing substance abuse and mental health services administrative substance abuse prevention and treatment supplemental funding, fiscal and program stabilization grant application, mental health and addiction.
Motion, legislator Hughes. Second, legislator Kretzer. Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Resolution 835, authorizing substance abuse and mental health services administrative substance abuse prevention in Treatment Supplemental Funding Workforce Development Grant application, mental health and addiction.
Motion Legislator Hughes, second Legislator Castine. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Resolution 836, authorizing New York State System of Care Pilot Community System of Care Mini Grant application, mental health and addiction.
Motion Legislator Hughes, second Legislator Kretzer. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 837, authorizing contract with the National Alliance for the Mentally Ill of Champlain Valley, mental health and addiction.
Motion Legislator Hughes, second Legislator Castine. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 838, authorizing annual update to the four-year plan and accepting annual implementation plan, Office for the Aging.
Motion Legislator Perrier, second Legislator Kretzer. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Carried.
Yes.
Resolution 839, awarding requests for proposals for various 2022 to 2023 programs and services, Office for the Aging.
Motion Legislator Perrier, second Legislator Hughes. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 840, authorizing contract with various agencies for building social connections mini grants, Office for the Aging.
Motion Legislator Perrier, second Legislator Hughes. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Resolution 841, authorizing contract with the Joint Council for Economic Opportunity, Office for the Aging.
Motion Legislator Perrier, second Legislator Kretzer. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Resolution 842, awarding request for proposals for personal emergency response systems for 2022-2023 with Lifeline Systems Company, Office for the Aging.
Motion Legislator Perrier, second Legislator Hughes. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Resolution 843, authorizing memorandum of understanding with the Clinton County Public Transit, Office for the Aging.
Motion Legislator Perrier, second Legislator Kretzer. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Resolution 844, authorizing contract with Plattsburgh YMCA, Office for the Aging.
Motion Legislator Perrier, second Legislator Hughes. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Resolution 845, authorizing various contracts for the year 2022 nursing home.
Motion Legislator Perrier, second Legislator Kretzer. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Resolution 846, authorizing various contracts for the year 2022 personnel.
Motion Legislator Hall, second Legislator Castine. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Resolution 847, approving payment of 2022 membership dues to personnel.
Motion Legislator Hall, second Legislator Timmons. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 848, approving backfill of permanent full-time cleaner, buildings and grounds.
Motion Legislator Castine, second Legislator Hall. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 849, approving backfill of a permanent full-time account clerk typist, mental health and addiction.
Motion Legislator Timmons, second Legislator Castine. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Resolution 850, approving reclassification of a permanent full-time mental health clinician 1 position up to a permanent full-time social worker 1 position with backfill, mental health and addiction.
Motion Legislator Castine, second Legislator Hall. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 851, approving backfill of a permanent full-time staff nurse, nursing home.
Motion Legislator Hall, second Legislator Timmons. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 852, approving backfill of a permanent full-time health facility controller, nursing home.
Motion Legislator Timmons, second Legislator Castine. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 853, approving backfill of a permanent full-time staff nurse nursing home.
Motion, Legislator Castine, second, Legislator Hall. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 854, approving reclassification of a permanent full-time public health and nutrition educator up to a permanent full-time senior women, infants, and children nutritionist, health department.
Motion, Legislator Hall, second, Legislator Timmons. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 855, approving backfill of a permanent full-time caseworker position, social services.
Motion, Legislator Timmons, second, Legislator Castine. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 856, approving backfill of permanent full-time typist, social services.
Motion, Legislator Castine, second, Legislator Hall. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 857, approving extension of a temporary part-time accounting supervisor grade B position, social services.
Motion, Legislator Hall, second, Legislator Henry. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 858, approving backfill of a permanent full-time automotive mechanic position, highway.
Motion, Legislator Timmons, second, Legislator Castine. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 859, approving backfill of a permanent full-time traffic signal technician, highway.
Motion, Legislator Timmons, second, Legislator Castine. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 860, approving backfill of a permanent part-time senior typist, highway.
Motion, Legislator Castine, second, Legislator Hall. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 861, approving backfill of a permanent part-time airport firefighter position, Plattsburgh International.
Motion, Legislator Hall, second, Legislator Timmons. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 862, authorizing lease agreement with CNS Technical Resources Incorporated, Plattsburgh International.
Motion, Legislator Hall, second, Legislator Hughes. Discussion.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I just want to bring to the board's attention that this resolution has been amended since it was sent out. It is actually an additional $1,000 revenue, up from $3,500 to $4,500.
Any further questions, discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 863, authorizing contract with Trojan Energy Systems, Plattsburgh International.
Motion, Legislator Hall, second, Legislator Conacher. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Resolution 864, authorizing contract with Atlantic Testing Laboratories, Plattsburgh International.
Motion, Legislator Hall, second, Legislator Timmons. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Resolution 865, authorizing the purchasing agent to solicit requests for proposals for physician services, Sheriff's Department.
Motion, Legislator Castine, second, Legislator Hall. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 866, amending resolution number 613 dated October 14, 2020, titled Authorizing various contracts for the year 2021 Sheriff's Department.
Motion, Legislator Castine, second, Legislator Hall. Discussion. Roll call.
Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Resolution 867, authorizing the purchasing agent to solicit bids for inmate clothing, janitorial, and personal care items, Sheriff's Department.
Motion, Legislator Castine, second, Legislator Perrier. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 868, authorizing lease agreement with Boatworks Marine, Sheriff's Department.
Motion, Legislator Castine, second, Legislator Perrier. Discussion. Roll call.
Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 869, authorizing contract with the GS Sciences Corporation Sheriff's Department.
Motion, Legislator Castine. Second, Legislator Hall. Discussion. Roll call.
Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Carried. Resolution 870, authorizing contract with Thompson Reuters, Public Defender's Office.
Motion, Legislator Castine. Second, Legislator Fourier. Discussion. Roll call.
Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Resolution 871, authorizing out-of-state travel, District Attorney's Office Child Advocacy Center.
Motion, Legislator Castine. Second, Legislator Potiker. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Resolution 872, authorizing contract with MG Auto, District Attorney's Office Child Advocacy Center.
Motion, Legislator Castine. Second, Legislator Hall. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 873, authorizing contract with Momot Trailer Sales, District Attorney's Office Child Advocacy Center.
Motion, Legislator Castine. Second, Legislator Hall. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Resolution 874, authorizing contract with Ellis Medicine.
Motion.
Coroner's Office.
Whoops, excuse me, I'm sorry. Motion, Legislator Castine. Second, Legislator Fourier. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Resolution 875, authorizing contract with various physicians for autopsy services, coroner.
Motion, Legislator Castine. Second, Legislator Potiker. Discussion. Roll call.
Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Resolution 876, authorizing contract with Jennifer Facto Rabideau, nurse practitioner, coroner's office.
Motion, Legislator Castine. Second, Legislator Hall. Discussion. Roll call.
Perrier?
Sustained or not?
Mr. Timmons?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
One abstention.
One abstention.
Mr. Perrier? Resolution 877, authorizing contract with Glens Falls Hospital, coroner's office.
Motion, Legislator Castine. Second, Legislator Fourier. Discussion. Roll call.
Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Resolution 878, authorizing contract with Forensic Medical Services, PC, coroner's office.
Motion, Legislator Castine. Second, Legislator Potiker. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Resolution 879, authorizing the county treasurer to establish appropriation for the district attorney's federal justice seizure reserve account, district attorney's office.
Motion, Legislator Castine. Second, Legislator Hall. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Resolution 880, authorizing various memoranda of understanding involving compensation for the year 2022, Clinton County Public Transit.
Motion, Legislator Kretzer. Second, Legislator Hughes. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Resolution 881, authorizing contract with Spark Hill Clean, Clinton County Public Transit.
Motion, Legislator Kretzer. Second, Legislator Potiker. Discussion. Roll call.
Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Resolution 882, authorizing the county treasurer to establish appropriation and corresponding revenue for the unmet needs grant, Office for the Aging.
Motion, Legislator Timmons. Second, Legislator Fourier. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Resolution 883, authorizing the county treasurer to decrease appropriation and corresponding revenue for the Childhood Lead Poisoning Prevention Program grant, Health Department.
Motion, Legislator Timmons. Second, Legislator Hughes. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 884, authorizing the county treasurer to increase appropriation and corresponding revenue for the Health Department budget, Health Department.
Motion, Legislator Timmons. Second, Legislator Hughes. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Resolution 885, authorizing the county treasurer to decrease appropriation and corresponding revenue for the Healthy Neighborhoods Preventive Health Cornerstones Grant, Health Department.
Motion, legislator Timmons, second, legislator Hughes. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Resolution 886, authorizing the county treasurer to increase appropriation and corresponding revenue for the Drinking Water Enhancement Program Grant, Health Department.
Motion, legislator Timmons, second, legislator Hughes. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Resolution 887, authorizing the county treasurer to establish appropriation and corresponding revenue for the Early Intervention Administration Grant, Health Department.
Motion, legislator Timmons, second, legislator Hughes. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Resolution 888, authorizing the county treasurer to decrease appropriation and corresponding revenue for the Early Intervention Administrative Grant, Health Department.
Motion, legislator Timmons, second, legislator Hughes. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 889, authorizing the county treasurer to decrease appropriation and corresponding revenue for the Drinking Water Enhancement Grant, Health Department.
Motion, legislator Timmons, second, legislator Hughes. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 890, authorizing the county treasurer to establish appropriation and corresponding revenue for the Healthy Neighborhoods Program Grant, Health Department.
Motion, legislator Timmons, second, legislator Hughes. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Resolution 891, authorizing the county treasurer to appropriate and transfer funding from the Tobacco Reserve, Legislature.
Motion, legislator Timmons, second, legislator Hall. Discussion. Roll call.
Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
I'd like to get a second on that.
Yes, sir.
Also second by Mr. Hughes.
Mr. Hughes. What's that?
Yes, sir.
1 second. All right, next order of business is I'd like to entertain a motion to waive Rule 13.2 for authorizing the purchase agent to select a request for proposals for resident pharmacy products. May I have a motion? Motion legislator Hall, second legislator Timmons. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 892, authorizing the purchasing agent to solicit a request for proposals for resident pharmacy products and medication administration nursing home.
Motion, legislator Timmons, second by legislator Casper. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. We got it for the
Well,
resolution.
I hope you guys have enough money in next year's budget to pay for
I
that.
was worried, Mr. Hughes was particularly good. Seriously, I want to thank all the committee chairs, the committee members, the legislature, Michael and all his staff for getting this. There was a lot to go through tonight. So thank you for all your hard work to get that done, all of that, so we can get this done tonight. Anything further to come before the legislature?
Motion to adjourn.
I have a motion to adjourn, legislator Hall, seconded by legislator Hughes. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. We are adjourned. Thank you. Thank you.